How's it going, guys? This is so awkward. I hate doing this on stream. All right, don't even edit that part out. Yo, Pleb Central, you're the man. Shout out to Pleb C for making my YouTube videos. All right, guys. Today or tonight, I wanted to talk about the third cup of season 2. It just happened today, and I was really surprised because we got so much backlash. I guess after the tournament, like a lot of really negative comments and I guess tweets and stuff like that. And I don't mind that in like the Warcraft channel. People are allowed to make fun of me in other people's channels, but when people are like bringing that to my Twitter and stuff, like, you know, those are my fans. You know what I mean? If people are gonna hate me and they're not my fans, it's fine. But when people that are actually trying to support me and stuff start hating me, it actually like really bothers me a lot. So I wanted to kind of like break down to you what's been going on, and also like talk to you about our comp picks and stuff, because there's always room to improve. I mean, you know, hindsight is 20/20. You know, any tournament I ever played in, when I look back at the tournament with the knowledge that I knew after I already played in it, win or lose, there's always something that you can change, and there's always something that you could do better on. It doesn't matter win or lose. It's 100% just how it is. But so you guys probably know, if you watch the stream often, that we've been taking a ton of time to do off-stream practice. This was really important. You know, the first tournament we came out swinging, we got second place. The second tournament, we got 8th place, and it put us in a position where it was a do or die. We needed to get at least top 3 in order to qualify for Poland, and this was really important to us because, you know, it gives you a chance to make it to BlizzCon, and it also just gives you more points in general to make it to BlizzCon through that point system. So our entire focus of this tournament was to make it to Poland, and we did that. So to receive so much negative feedback after we are, you know, one of the top 4 teams in North America, and after the season we're actually the second place team in North America, seems kind of beyond me. You know, statistically speaking here, we are the second best team in North America. And if that's not good enough for the people that watch me and want to support me, I'm sorry, you know. Unfollow me. Do what you got to do. If that's not good enough, second place isn't good enough, you know, we give it everything we got. But we've been doing a lot of off-stream practice, but Wednesday after the tournament, once we got that top 6 spot qualified, Trill actually got sick. And Thursday we actually did not play in practice with him at all. We did not play in practice with Trill at all because he wasn't feeling well. You know, I don't know if he has the flu or whatever, but he was vomiting. Like, he was sick, okay? He was sick. We did not play with Trill at all on Thursday. Friday night, you know, he kind of mustered up the strength for us to get War Games, knowing that we were going to face Jaws team. And that's where you guys saw Sam come in on that Windwalker Mage. That's where you guys saw us play probably, you know, one of the better series in the tournament, to make sure we qualified for that LAN spot. So that was Saturday. We qualified for that LAN. We did everything that we could to make sure we qualified for our LAN. That was the goal. Saturday night, Trill still was not feeling well. We said, dude, we qualified for LAN. You know, we'll do our best tomorrow, but just, you know, get rest. Do what you got to do. We'll talk about the matchups. And we had this random idea of double DH Holy Paladin versus RPS. You know, we're like, hey, maybe we'll throw him a curveball. We play double Demonic Demon Hunter. You guys can't really rot him. I'll play Melee Wings. I shouldn't die. But Chuck Jones, Omega Lol, I'm fucking garbage. I died instantly, okay? That was a throwaway. If you guys were wondering where that pick came from, it came from a random thought that we thought was a good idea. That was not a good idea. You guys ever have any of those? Because if you didn't, good for you. But sometimes you just get these thoughts in your head and you're like, light bulb burns out real quick, all right? Change that fucking light bulb, okay? So second matchup, you know, pretty standard stuff versus RPS. We go Ruins of Lordaeron. We trade in the Shaman. Easy peasy. All right, next game, it's 1-1. They pull out Assassination, Frost DK, and we win that. It's 2-1 in the series. So we're like, well, that was their counter pick. We might as well pick the same thing since we already won. You know, if we pick something else, they could change. You know, this is their chance to lock in their counter, so we lock in the same comp, and on Tolvaron, they got a crazy good opener. Our strategy was the same thing. We're going to run in. We're going to be really aggressive. And we're just going to try and trade down the Shaman. We know it's going to be a bloodbath. They got in a lot quicker. My goal was to actually run in and try and get on top of the shaman so we get like triple stuns and we could play really aggressive. That did not happen. They got to me too quickly. We never had that kind of opportunity, so our plan failed. A lot of people like to criticize our strategies and stuff, but we have not played a single game of Windwalker DK into that comp outside that game on Dalaran. So it's really hard to say, like, you know, how are we supposed to play this when we've never played the matchup? You know, a lot of people think, like, maybe pros should know everything. If you don't play the matchup, it's really, really difficult to understand. So now we're at a situation where it's a 2-2 series, and we have 2 minutes to lock in our comp, and we're like, well, what do we pick? What do we pick? So we're just like, man, DH Warrior can kind of shit on Death Knights. Should I play Druid? Oh, I might get purged out by Shaman. You know, Sam saying, should we play Windwalker Mage? We don't really practice Windwalker Mage that much. It's something that we're going to work on from the LAN going forward, but we don't really play and practice that too much. I'm like, man, do I play Priest? I feel like I could get killed as Priest. Do I play Druid? I feel like I could get purged out on Druid. The play was probably Holy Paladin, but we saw how that went earlier in the series. So we just decided to go with our bread and butter, just cleave with a Resto Shaman. If you guys noticed, Trill was playing Relentless. That was a mistake. He meant to play Trinket. He unfortunately didn't swap it. If he had Trinket, he would have trinketed that blind. He would have executed the Death Knight. It would have been easy peasy. Like, done deal. Mistakes happen. We brush it off. We should have won that series. You know what I mean? There's 100 things we could have done differently. I'm not saying this is all Trill's fault. I literally make mistakes all the time. I'll talk about them in the next series, but it is what it is. You know, we brushed that off. We go into the next series. Game 1, you know, what is it? We were Windwalker DK versus Warlock, Windwalker, Resto Shaman. This is a matchup that we only played one time on ladder, and we ended up killing Cubsy. So we're like, fuck it, don't fix what's not broken. We go in there, we kill a healer. It's what we're good at, okay? Second game, we're thinking about switching comp because it kind of felt a little difficult, and they picked Tolvaron. So we're like, man, Tolvaron's a big map. Should we switch comp? And we're like, well, is Tolvaron really that much bigger than Nagrand? Maybe not. Let's just go in there, try the same thing. So we go in there, we lose. Tolvaron served well for them. It was too big of a map. We couldn't get it done. So we're like, well, I think he only lived because Tolvaron. Let's go ahead and pick a small map and kill this healer again. There it is. Simple. 2-1. We're up 2-1 in the series. And we're like, well, this healer's died 2 games in a row. Let's see what map they pick. Ashmanes. Well, we're like, well, Ashmanes doesn't really seem that much bigger than Nagrand. We should be able to kill the Shaman. So, you know, do we bring Salmon in a matchup where we've already won 2 games and it's not a bigger map? That seems really silly. We've never played this matchup with Sam. Trill and Sam don't have the best synergy yet. It's something that we're trying to work on because we only had, you know, maybe 2 months to do it. It's not the best yet. Normally, when we bring Sam in, it's like a matchup that we practice specifically through war games. But there's no one that plays Windwalker Lock Shaman as well as Chanimal, Chun-Li, and Cubsy. On US at least. So we cannot get this practice. I think a lot of people really don't understand that you can't play against these teams for the most part unless it's in these tournaments. Like people, I think people really, really don't get that. So we decided to go with the same matchup on Ashmanes. I think people were criticizing Trill's Karma on Ashmanes. He pre-karma'd a full leg sweep, Touch of Death, Fist of Fury stun. He would have 100% got blasted. He had no trinket. It was a full leg sweep. He was like 80% health. Touch of Death was already up. He saw the Touch of Death. He pre-karma'd. He lived 100%. In that game, I said, you're insane, you're insane, you're insane. Later in that game, I overlapped a kick with Mez on the healer, and then it turned out I got full feared into a re-fear into a Hex, and I had Ascendance, I had Link, and their Shaman had no CDs. No CDs. It was game over if that CC chain just got broken up. We didn't have any stops. Trill ended up dying. We lost the game. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, that Shaman was really fucked. If I played Trinket, I said, if I played Trinket, we might not get caught in that situation. So game 1, we won. Game 2, we lost because map. Game 3, we won. Game 4, I think we lost because of my talent choice. So we go into game 5, and everyone's saying, you know, why don't you get Salmon? Why don't you get Salmon? Why don't you get Salmon? We now have 4 games of experience versus this team. 2 of them are wins. 1 of them is lost because map, and 1 of them, I believe, is lost because talent choice. So do we bring in a brand new composition that we have 0 experience playing, or do we play the matchup that we've already played and already proved that we could win multiple times and do that? So we did. And it turns out it wasn't the talent choice. maybe Ruins wasn't a good map. I think a couple things happened. Everyone that was giving Trill shit for doing a really high karma, I was in a situation where the Shaman had no gust, he had no gate. We finally got him still. Trill had a full row of dots on him that you can't see in the spectator UI, by the way. He probably had 2 UAs, full dots. Was, you know, he was going to get destroyed. I said, dude, just fucking karma. Like, this Shaman's going to get blasted. But for some reason, he did not get blasted. So I called for that karma 100%. I thought the Shaman was going to take way more damage than he did, but he didn't. And then later that game, I literally whiffed Spirit Link. I didn't realize Mez wasn't there. I'm like, dude, I'm about to get CC'd. Like, I'm going to throw this Spirit Link out. And I'm like, oh, fuck, Mez isn't here. It was literally an awful Spirit Link. And then we ended up losing. Did we throw? Absolutely. You know? Could we have done better? Absolutely. But then to get, like, all this hate from people, you know, from people saying they're so disappointed and they're disgusted with our comp picks, people still don't even understand to this day how the counter picking system works. You know, like someone's like, hey man, why don't you just lock in Unholy Windwalker Decay? They can't beat it. It's like, well, if we lock this in, they will lock in a counter comp. Like, you know, it's insane. So people make mistakes. I'm sorry. We did the best we could. You know, Trill's been sick for like 4 or 5 days straight now. He almost didn't even play in the tournament. We made it to LAN, which we wanted to do, and we are still the number 2 seed going into BlizzCon from this point forward, and by a large margin. Third place is a little bit lower than us, and then 4th place is 200 points behind. So as long as we do well in BFA, we should be going to BlizzCon. But yeah, I mean, people are just so quick to the trigger to criticize and try and hate, and it's just. I don't need it, man. I think people really forget how much that we deal with. I'm a full-time streamer. I have a baby on the way. I moved houses within the last couple months. It's like I got a lot on my plate, you know? It's just it's crazy. So I just wanted to kind of discuss what our thoughts were behind the picks, behind the comps, and just try and, I guess, clear up any bad feelings towards us. I don't really know what we did to, you know, entice that, but if you guys are very disappointed and very upset with our performance, I don't really know what to tell you, man. I've been losing for 7 years now. Get used to it. Chuck Doolin out. 1 second. Priest, I cut you off again. All right. One thing I want to edit in here. So moving forward into this tournament, I would like to explain the situation that we're in. The tournament dates for Poland is July 14th and July 15th. The due date of my firstborn child is July 15th. You could kind of see how that's conflicting a little bit. Basically, what is going to happen is if Maverick is born 2 weeks early or so, I am going to go to Poland. If he is not, and he is on time or probably any day past like the 7th of July, I will most likely not go to Poland. And even if he's born 2 weeks early, 3 weeks early, 4 weeks early, I don't even think he can be 4 weeks early anymore. Holy crap, it's getting close. Yikes. Depending on the situation, if Cass and I feel like it is okay and she can handle it and everything is going well, he's healthy, all that good stuff, that's when I will decide if I can go. But yeah, so that's just what it is. So we're in a really awkward situation where we really want to practice to do the best we can in Poland, but they also need to practice with Sam healing, because if I don't go, Sam has to heal. So we're in this really awkward spot where we need to divide our practice. So half of our practice is going to be without me, in a sense, and I'm just hoping that if I do end up going, it doesn't affect us that much. So it's a really rough situation to be in. That's all. So a lot of people are wondering, you know, are you going? I don't know yet. I'm 100% going to book my ticket on Blizzard's dime, and if I can't go, I can't go. RIP. And hopefully my team can do better, or, you know, do well without me. But yeah. All right. Pleb Central.